Good afternoon, everybody. It's Connie, and it's Wednesday. I should say we're having a heat wave here. It is like amazingly warm in the double digits, like 12 degrees or something. I think we're supposed to get up to 20 today. We're having a storm come through, and it's warming things up, so we're no longer in the negatives, which is pleasant. Who would have ever thought that we would be so much warmer in the teens? You can feel it though. Although it's really windy and it's gonna storm, you can tell we're brewing up something. Anyway, thank you. Hi Sally, hi Christy, thanks for joining me. So today I have 2 or 3 things I want to share. The first thing is sort of illegal, okay? What happens on the Facebook group for the makers is that people post artwork like crazy, and then, we can duplicate it, giving them the credit, and I often do that. But the artwork they show is just prolific. Oh my gosh. Sally, you're above 0? So are we. Although I think, are you getting ice too? I was thinking you were far enough north to be getting some of that ice. Yuck. Anyway, yeah, yesterday Steve was going to work in the morning and we had just gotten a little bit of snow, like very little. And 3 cars went off the highway on his way to work. He doesn't work that far away, so it was pretty slick. Anyway, so back to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some of the maker artwork with you just to give you ideas. Know that none of these ideas are mine. And the other makers are just so creative, and I love to duplicate their artwork just like you duplicate other people's artwork or whatever. I like to make my own too, but I cannot keep up with all the cool things that come out. So I just want to show you some of the things that I saw on the maker page that I think is pretty cool. So this is a layout using Skylark, and when I think of Skylark, I think of these big green and brown or green and tan pages, but I don't think about using it so sparsely, leaving a lot of white on the page. And I just thought this was pretty clever. And this is using that birthday set that has all the die cut numbers. So I just thought that was pretty cool looking. Okay. Now this one makes me happy because it reminds me of Epcot and the big ball, the spaceship Earth. And I thought, oh, that's a cool idea for the triangle trees die cuts to make them into a circle like this for an Epcot page. And that was just something that kind of struck me. And that, again, is using Skylark, which I would not think of using Skylark for that. Okay. This is one that Krista Hirschberger did, and she has used the cute little animals from the catalog. And I gotta tell you, I did not buy these because I don't have a ton of use for them, but they're so adorable with their little glasses on. Oh my gosh, they're cute. So I think that's really neat. And she even put on here that it's a Make It From Your Heart Volume 6 pattern. So that's pretty cute. Here is a page that is using the special Valentine's special and then the window postage and Polaroid thin cuts. I think those are pretty cute. Snow, more snow. I wish we had snow, and more snow. Ours is blowing and ice and bitter cold. So that's where we're at. Anyway, so here's another one using those frames for photos. I just thought that was kind of clever. I also like that this is, they use the white gel pen around the edge to outline the page just to make a border. Very cute. Now, I love this. Sandy Zimmer use these hummingbirds, and I have this stamp set of the hummingbirds, and I love it. And I haven't played with it yet, but I like the detail that she got into those birds. And obviously, if you look at it, she wasn't super careful in how she colored it. So I can't wait to get these out and give this a try. And she added some glitter to it. Just very nice. Oh, that's not good, Sally. You're not getting your deliveries. My mailman delivered a package last night at 9:05. Not lying. It was 9 o'clock when he came to the door. So they're on overtime around here because I think they had a rule they couldn't work past 8 o'clock for the longest time. So they must be really behind. This is adorable, using the Winter for Gnomes paper, just in 1-inch squares to make the little card. This "'Tis the Season to be Freezing" is from a little penguin set from last year. Hi, Heather. Hi, Noelle. Thanks for joining. I'm just sharing illegally artwork from the maker page with you guys, because these people are so good at coming up with ideas, and I don't have time to recreate them on my own, so I'm showing you this. Please don't do screenshots and share. That is not a good idea. Laurel did this one, which I love. This is, I did a kind of a similar card, you know, with the embossed snowflakes in the background, and then the little mice, and just use a snowflake punch or thin cut. Cute with vellum. Neat, neat. Here is one that Janice Cooley did. She has a YouTube channel. She has some amazing artwork on her channel. You guys may be familiar with her if you watch YouTube. Hi, Margie. I know, well, these ideas are from the maker page, and I haven't seen them out and about. Like Janice, for example, she has a YouTube page, so hers shows up really easily when you search for Close to My Heart, because she's pretty consistent and prolific on how much she puts out. But I just thought, there's that page that we made, the Operation Smile page, but she used the birthday paper, and I thought, how clever. She also made hers a lot more difficult than I made mine, in that she used the Cricut to cut these arcs, and she didn't make them full circles. This is more like a puzzle. To me, that's a lot of work. I don't know if I would have done that, but I do love how the page turned out. Yeah, I love her layouts. Excuse me. Okay, Lisa, the reason I copied this one over is not that the card is so outstanding, although I do like it, but because of the idea. She had this idea. She stamped the clouds across the top of the paper and then just trimmed across the top, and that made her cloud template for chalking or for inking. Look at that. Isn't that cool? You can see the clouds in the background right here, and that's how she did that. I just thought, okay, that's an amazing idea. I love the little mice too, Margie. I actually, you know, I debated. I knew I was going to get them, but I'm like, what am I going to do with all of these cutesy things? I have a lot of cutesy stamps, and I don't always do cutesy, but this is the time of year with Valentine's especially. What I liked about this one is that, you know, the numbers were cut out and it was made into a shaker. And I just thought that was a really clever idea. Actually, I'm not even sure it's a shaker or if it's just elevated with foam tape, but it looks really good. And what a cute birthday card idea. So this die cut has sold out and they reordered it already. Because the consultants have been showing this one like mad. So this is one that you may see if you do search around the internet, you might find this one. Basically, it's that all over die cut that when you cut that out, all those little parts and pieces come out. And so it has been used here on top of a white piece of cardstock. There's a ton of ideas on that one. Karen Howard did an amazing set of birthday cards. I may show a couple of her ideas on using the birthday set because I like them so well. But I really like that she used like the zip strip. You know, she used a couple stripes this way, a couple stripes this way. I think this might even be one of the patterns in Make It From Your Heart. So I'll have to look at that. One of my favorite cards. Look at that. So there's something about those tassels. They're just too cool. And I love it. And people are doing lots of things with this little cupcake. So you'll see a few examples in there. I showed that one already. Oh, there. Okay, so there's that heart again. And this one you can see a little bit better that it's put on top of glitter paper. And the pink edge is embossed. So she put it through an embossing folder and then die cut it out and then lifted it on top of glitter. Woo! That's beautiful. That is just beautiful. So, and with the black and the pink, just wow. I showed that one. Seriously, sorry, some of these pictures must have copied twice. I really like this one too because it's simple 1-inch strips edged in ink and then with stamping. And then the other thing is the cupcake has a smear of that glitter gel on it, and it really does add something. It really makes it pop when you add that extra glitter on there. Look at how fun that card is. Now, I don't like to color that much, but I think if I did sit and color a whole bunch of cupcakes, like, you know, one after another and just made them all different colors, it would be fun to just put these kind of cards together. And I just love how this looks. I may do something like this for my card maker people in the mail, so think about that. Laura Beecham did that one. Great job. There's another cupcake idea, Sandy Zimmer. She put the little, you know, the primary sprinkles that are like shaker pieces. She put them on top of the cupcake. Super cute. There's another one with white frosting. There's another one with the tassels and the little gnome. So, see, I love that in the background, the sprinkles is that Irresistibles cardstock, just inked in blue. And then the little gnome, adorable. That little gnome, I believe, is retired, but he may still be online. Showed that already. I don't know why they're showing up twice. Okay, this one is with the new Valentine paper love notes that just came out on the 1st, and I thought these were really easy Valentine cards to do. This is like, whoa, like one of my favorites. It's beautiful. She did a background of the pink, but then she cut out the LOVE letters and then glued them on and then put the postage frame on the top with vellum in the window. Ah, that's really pretty. That's a cool idea. Think of how many things you could put in a vellum window. Karen Howard, again, she did a whole group of cards. She does have a blog. So I left that on there for Heather or for you guys to see where she's at. These people who have blogs, I think, are hard to find. I think blogs have lost some of their popularity, and so they're harder to find online than they used to be. But I like how she did the zip strips and the little word stickers and kind of made them cascade down like a cake. Super clever. And then she used the little acrylic shapes as candles, look like sparklers almost. Super cute. All right, showed that one. These are from, I don't really know, maybe 2020 or 2021. They came out with this set of, you know, puns, food puns, and someone pulled them out and started making Valentines using the paper pack that's a special right now. So cute. So adorable. I need to pull mine out because Taco Bell, awesome. God, I love that. It's funny. All right. And then there is, so this is where they used that heart die cut like a stencil. So she like cut it out and then laid it on and then filled it with either texture paste or embossing powder with gold. And then, you know, that's what happens when you lift the die cut off and just let that dry. No way would you take that, cut it out of gold, and take all the little pieces and glue them back on. It would drive you crazy. But, you know, you could do that too. Yes, those heart dies are really cool. You know, I didn't buy it because I have a couple of heart dies kind of like that from the past, but the more art I see with it, the more I'm thinking, oh, I really could have used that this year. But I do have one from last year. I think Hope and Kindness had a really nice heart die, and so the last couple years they've been popular. Now this one looks weird. To me, this looks weird, but basically what this is they took this image and they stamped it on gold cardstock, like the foil, gold foil, and embossed it. And so it doesn't look very good in the picture, but the idea of it was really cool that you could do that on gold embossed cardstock and then not have to color it all in. Nice. All right, I should be getting close to the end here. More with the numbers. Those numbers are so cool. And I really like how she used the banner. I like the color of the cardstock. So cool. Here is a 2-page spread that is, interestingly, not birthday related. Just, you know, yay, yay, yay paper. So cool. We showed that. There's another one with that. There's that heart in the background using vellum. The numbers are about, I want to say 2 inches. 2 inches. I think I measured them last week when I did that birthday page or whatever. And then this is from the stamp of the month, that little paper. And see how she cut it apart. I thought that was super clever. Showed that. Okay, there's another one that is, yeah, I'm down to my last like 4 or 5 here. This one is using the banner idea from the birthday set, the balloons from the birthday. I think it's the SVG set they used for that. But I thought that was really cute with the Valentine's Day. And then Liz did this one with where she did, like, you can't see it very well in the picture, but that is glitter cardstock on the back with white cardstock with the die cut in it. And look at that little puffy heart in the ribbon. Now that ribbon is from Silver Bells. You remember how there's that one die cut. I tell you what, that ribbon, anytime you have a die cut that has like a ribbon, a bow kind of thing, it's really a good idea to kind of keep it out and ready to use, because it's shocking how often you can use that if it's right there under your nose. All right. And that's the last one. A card using that with a color. So I just wanted to show you these ideas. Oh, and then this morning, I was brushing my teeth and I turned around and my cat was drinking out of the toilet. I was so grossed out. I took a picture of it because I sent it to my daughter to freak her out. And it does. It freaks her out. I love it. She's like really gets wigged out by stuff the cat does, because this cat likes to lick you and stuff. And I said, every time she licks you, this is what you need to think about. Okay, so spoiler alert, this is the club layout. I don't always show it because, I like the surprise element. But there's a couple of things about the layout that I wanted to show you guys for this month, just so you'd understand what my thought process was. So I'm going to go ahead and open it. If you don't want to be spoiled by seeing the whole thing, fast forward by about 5 minutes. So, you have a couple of loose pieces in there because I figured you might want to do your own thing with a title, but my thought was this, and then you could cut down the message, cut down to whichever one you enjoy the most. And this right here, I know it looks teal. It really looks like it's green, but it is actually, it was my mist colored re-inker with texture paste. And so I did texture paste through a stencil here and here, and it turned out to be this green color. So what I did was I made it so that you can make as much of this green show as you want. Some people don't have very much of it showing, but you can roll it back if this looks too green for you, just to add a little more green to your layout. That was my thought with that one. Page 2. See, that does not look like mist. It doesn't even look like the same color at all. But my other piece that I sent you is just a punch out from this film reel. So this film reel is a piece from the SVGs, and I just made it extra large on the page so that you could take little photos, and I made it so it's not glued down, and you can use this as a template for your photo and then attach it to, make it just a little bigger, and then attach it to the back of each one of these. So, this one would be a horizontal, maybe vertical, but I just thought you could fill these 6 spaces. Now, if you don't want to do little layouts, just our little pictures, just leave it like that. You could even take a little stamp and put little stamps in there. You could take another photo and just put it right on top of it, and it's just a background. But this is why you have this little piece. It's for a template for your photos. And close to my heart, this is not my original idea, and I'm sure you've seen tons of film reel layouts before, but close to my heart did one of these in their last album retreat, where it was like the travel themed one. And I dreaded doing this page so much because I don't take photos from a distance far enough to have these little bitty pictures like this. And so I, when I found the photos that fit into those spaces, I fell in love with that layout. It's one of my favorite layouts I've done for this year. And so that's why I decided it's so cool to do this, you know, on your page, that I decided to make that for you. So I hope you like it. And if not, you know, do what you will. People are creative with these layouts that I send. Some people will, you know, make them into calendars. Some people do things like cutting them up to make them cards. Okay, let's see. I gotta get my next part here. I can't wait to show you this set. So this is the Love Notes bundle, and I went ahead and got the whole bundle because I wanted the dies, and so I got the best deal that included the dies, because this little envelope that's in here is so clever. It's like a 2x3 size, and you know, the flaps just fold over. You may have something like this in your collection already, and maybe you don't need it, but I just couldn't resist that cute little envelope, and I can't wait to play with it. And then it has this stamp set. I'll turn it over like that. So it has like the candy. It looks like a deck of cards, but it's actually, this is a separate little frame, and then the hearts are separate, and it kind of looks stitched. I'll show you on a card that I'm making here in a minute. I love the little bear. Will you, you know, be mine, love notes. Valentine has little flowers. Now, the one that makes me laugh is this one right here, because I'm like, what is that? Is that a flower? It looks like a fried egg to me. And so I was playing with that a little bit, because I'm like, what is that little image? And so I stamped a few, and I was playing with it. And at first I was like, okay, if I make them red, you know, to look like flowers, they could be flowers. They still look like fried eggs to me. I can't get my head around it. And I thought, well, maybe they're like cookies. And so I made them kind of look a little bit like cookies. And I'm like, I don't think that's what those are. And so then I finally just made them into eggs. I made them into fried eggs. You think it's a cookie? See, I don't know. See, so maybe it's the way I colored them. I thought maybe a flower. But it's dimensional. So yeah, maybe a cookie. I don't know. Anyway, I was having fun with that. And then I was playing with the egg idea, and I was like, oh, look, I'm going to make some bacon for my eggs. Isn't that cute? That was fun. I just did that with a marker. You guys probably know how to do that, but I basically just took a scratch piece of paper and colored it all over in brown, and then you do the next shade of brown and just that kind of thing. And then you take the darkest shade and really lightly, that would be like your crispy part. This is tan shades. And then to really make it look like bacon, you take your white gel pen and kind of put, like, you know how it has like fat in it, like that. And then when you're done, you just cut it out like a slice of bacon. So, and then you end up with bacon. Is that weird? I couldn't help myself, because I just think that looks like eggs. And I don't know what to do with that. But anyway, that's not all. That's, you know, there's a ton of cool things in there. These stickers are puffy. They're puffy hearts. And that's where that little heart came from on that bow. Open, open. Sorry, my fingernails. I did my fingernails last night and now they're hard to pick things up. But they're the puffy hearts, and they're really, really cute. I'm going to use those in a second. The sticker sheet, so much fun. What I like with it that they did with the sticker sheet was they did different backgrounds. So this has more of a peachy background, more of a pink and white, and then red, different colors of red, and very clever. And they did some things that are big enough so that you can do scrapbook pages. Oh my gosh, pancakes. That's a great idea too. See, I have a lot of pun style food messages, and I love doing cards that are like food. So I have like, you know, popcorn things and breakfast things and chocolate things. I have a lot of stamps like that. So I immediately went to, oh, look, it's eggs. All right. Anyway, so the sticker sheet is pretty cool. The paper, I love the paper and the zip strips. And so you can see, I'm just going to show you the different patterns. This one's just like a Swiss dot, like a dot. And I love the little flowers zip strip. This one is like a little, like a newsprint. And it's multi-directional. So depending on, you know, how you cut it up, that it doesn't have to be like a right side up thing. The multicolored flowers, this is my least favorite print, but it really looks nice with the other papers. So I do like that very much. And look at these little bears. Now see, if I put a little hat on the head, it would be like the honey bear. Oh my gosh, it could be like a breakfast thing. I gotta think about this. All right, anyway, so this is the special. I bought a couple of paper packs of it because I really, really liked it. And I definitely have already started using the stamps for it. Okay. Ugh. Now, I know I've been talking for like half an hour. Now I'm going to show you what I really want to show you today. This is our project. So you guys know I keep all my card templates in like these envelopes. And this is like a flip multi-layer card. You know, I have no idea what this card would be called. I saw it somewhere. I made my own template out of it. And basically, it looks like a crazy thing, right? Look at my template. But this just shows me how to cut the different pieces. Let me show you a finished one. I showed you this last week. So the base is just your A2 size card base, and I cut it off, right? And then on the inside, there's another piece that's like 10 inches long and folded in half. And you can attach it to the front flap like I did here, or you can attach it to the back and make this part flappy. But the idea is that it has an extra multi-layer kind of thing in there. So that's the idea. And then this one I made horizontal, same kind of idea with and those were with coffee themes. So today I cut the pieces and I'm going to walk you through how this goes together. Let me get out my adhesive. Looks like hold on a minute. I think I may run out of adhesive, so I'm going to get out my replacement here. All right, so part one is your card base, the main panel, and it measures 4 1/4 by 8 1/4. Oh yeah, that would be awesome for a gift card because it's the perfect size. It's a perfect size for that. So I just scored this at 5.5. So you could use a card base that just has the top fold and just cut it off here. So there's that. And then you need to decorate it. And so, you know, when I decorate, I always go 1/4 inch smaller. So this little section right here is 5.5 by 4.25. So 1/4 inch smaller, 5.25 by 4. And you can use, you know, whatever side of the paper you want. This is the mix-in paper, which I love, 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 love. And I'm just going to center that so that there is a equal border on all the sides. Okay. The next piece you need is this inner piece right here. This card is a 3" by 10". So I cut it 3" by 10". And you just score it in the middle at the 5" mark. Now here's where you have a decision to make. You can either attach it to the front panel so it flips like this, or you can attach it to the base like this, and then this part will flip. So this one, since I showed you example already with it attached to the front, I'm going to attach this to the back, okay? And what the main thing with this is you don't want to jam it past your fold. You want your card to fold. So you don't want to just be a little bit careful about pushing it too close to the fold line. You kind of want it fairly even on all the sides. And this is adhered. So now you have it and you're just decorating. Oh, that would be cute, a Christmas card thing. See, I think this would be great for gift card. You could put your gift card like across here. You could put it on here, or on here. I mean, really, there's a lot of options here. So what I did to make this particular card is I cut a couple more scrap pieces of paper. Now, these are the same size. And these are 4 by 2.5 for the flap. And then you can, 4 by 5.25 is the base that we already put on. So you can decide which one you want to put here. You can make it pink, you can make it blue. I kind of like the blue, and you could do whatever you want here. Gosh, I got snowflakes everywhere. All right, so I'm going to put the stripes up here. All right, decorated. Now for the different flaps and things, you want one for the front. And when you put it on the front, you just want to make sure you don't put glue on here because you want all the flaps to open. So what I do to make this really easy is I put adhesive on my card flap right here. I don't know how well you can see my adhesive. There. You can see the light shine on it, just there. And then I do another at the very, very top, like that. So then when I put it on, it's only going to adhere where I want it to go. And you just sort of eyeball it so it's even, like here, here, and here. Just kind of look and try to make it as even as you can. And then see how it makes that nice layer. Boom, boom. And then I cut another piece. It is the same size as this blue And you can see it's got a pink stripe on one side, and I just cut it for in here because I just thought it looked nice. You can make it bigger if you wish, but I just wanted the a little pattern on that middle flap. I know, just think, honestly, you could just take a strip of paper, Sally. Let me grab one of my scraps. Okay, like I have a scrap here, and I could put this here and just glue it here, here, and here, and I would have a gift card holder. I mean, honestly, I have scraps on my table everywhere, but like I could put it, you know, here, here, and here, and then there's a pocket at the top. Or same way down here, you could get out I usually keep a old gift card in my drawer here just for sizing, but get an actual gift card and size this a little bit bigger, and then you can glue around it and tuck, make a pocket. Or you could just do a stretch across it from like one side to the other, and it just slides in. You'd have to make that pretty snug. But anyway, this is kind of cute, right? So what I decided to do is use the little mice, and I like the little skier mouse, and so I haven't colored him yet, but I will. I'm just gonna put him on the front. I like that. And then I just have some little scrap pieces here that I thought would be really cute just to go across the front. Yeah, I like that. Just like that. And I have this one that says winter greetings. One of the things that's interesting about this card is the way I do it, you need 3 greetings. And so those little mice were perfect for that, because you have keep calm and wait for snow, winter greetings, have a flurry of fun, thanks so much, wishing you happy winter days. You can use any combo of 3 of those, and that's awesome. I also had the snowman set out, and all 3 of those would work together really well too, because you could put happy winter on the front. There's nobody like you. Friendship never melts away could go on the inside. So that's another option for winter card if you're into the winter thing. Okay, then on the inside, I want my second message. There's nobody like you, which I think is adorable. And you can put this any way you want. I'm gonna just put it on this way. And I cut out a second little mouse for in here. And again, I gotta color him, but I will. But he's really cute. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? Oh my gosh. Winter greetings, there's nobody like you. And then on the inside, I have a little thing where I could just leave it blank, place to write a message. I have the wishing you happy winter days. I can put this across the bottom. You could decorate just the little square. I mean, you know, possibilities are endless, right? I mean, come on. You can do anything that you wish. I'm getting to the end of my adhesive. Sorry. I think I'll just switch to my liquid glue because I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Okay. So rather than take the time. The main thing about these is that you want to put them so that they're somewhat covered, you know, like you don't, it doesn't look as good to have stuff sticking out unless it all coordinates, you know. Just like that. Okay, now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a snowflake freak. I think you know that I like snow. Right? So let me just show you. Do you have paper punches? Do you have a billion paper punches? I have this whole collection. There's like, I don't know, 6 or 7 different colors of these. They're like all one for every rainbow color. And they just are all just a tiny bit different shapes. So I just punched a whole bunch of snowflakes out of coordinating cardstock. And I'm just, you know, I just want to decorate this with a little bit of the snowflakes. And I think that really makes the card cool looking. So you can put them anywhere you wish. And, you know, make it kind of special. Isn't that neat? So that is the card. Now I have one more cut out and ready to make. Helps if I hold that on there for a second. I think it could use, you know, a gem or two also. It'll help when I color it, but I think this card is really cute. Look at that. Cool, cool. Okay. Now I went ahead and cut one out using the Valentine's paper. So this one is Scarlet. I'm reading your comment, Margie. That's funny. Oh yeah, shimmer. So I'm going to use this side of the paper. You could use either side, right? It all looks good, especially when you know, you're using it all together. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and put on my background. And then I cut the big piece from Peach. And do I want it in the front? Do I want it in the bottom? I'll go ahead and put it across the bottom. Just like that. The main thing is you want to make sure your card closes well. There we go. Okay. And then we have a flap at the top, and I think I'm going to use the flower version since I used the bear and postage on the background. Right? Cool. I love, this is like my favorite. I went ahead and stamped 3 little hearts on the bottom of it. Here's the back, and the back looks great, but look at that. Yay, I love it. So there's what I'm using for that. And I'm just gonna kind of make it even on all the sides. I just cut it, you know, 1/4 inch smaller. And then, so here's our card with all the little flaps. I did go ahead and, you know, you can put something on the inside, but well, I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one. Remember how I told you I made it so that the top of this and the bottom of this have glue. So with the scarlet, is sort of a dark red, and then the lighter version of it really shows. There's a big difference. So I kind of like the lighter version showing on that. So I'm going to put my glue across the top of that and the bottom of the flap. And I want my hearts to show. Aren't those cute? So I'm putting it up higher than I did on the other cards, because you can do anything you want. Look at that. Isn't that cute? And then I need to just decorate my front. Here's that how that one stamps out. So it's like a frame, and I did it in peach, so it's really, really soft. This card is so much fun. This card is really fast and it's fun to make. So I think I'm gonna move this down a little bit and then put this at the top. I cut this zip strip thinking I'll use it somewhere, but I think it would be great going across the top. I love that little gingham. It's just too cute. Yeah, I like that. You know, when you buy paper packs like this, you end up with all these scraps and all this stuff. And here's my images that I cut out for this. I could put the bear on the front. Oh, he's adorable. But I think I'm going to put the flowers on the front. And I normally do a little dimension on there. So let me just get out my dots here. I really, this flower bouquet, I was like, some of the things in the stamp set, I'm like, is that cookies? What is it? But after I colored it, I was like, I love this flower bouquet. Isn't it neat? And I think I could even use, you know, one of my, I don't know what that is. I could use one of my eggs, one of my pancakes, a set of cookies. I don't know what those are. It's driving me crazy. I'm going to ask somebody on the maker site and have them tell me what the heck that's supposed to be. I'm going to put my little bear right here. Oh my gosh, he's cute. Cute. Very cute. And I'll flip again, and then I have the inside, and I have this "You're Berry Sweet." That's like the perfect little Valentine. I was disappointed it didn't have a UR. I need to get in my Valentine. I have gobs of little letters and stuff, and it would be cute to use a UR, you know, like the letters, instead of trying to write it out myself. That's just what I should have done. What I did is different, but, and then I kind of want something going across this bottom. And so I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of scarlet here and maybe some puffy hearts on it. We'll see how they look. Because when this closes, it's nice to have that contrast right there. And then I have all these adorable puffy hearts, and gosh, they're really fun. So a couple of hearts. I have my little bear, and I think I might put a couple of hearts, one on each side also, because it's Valentine's Day. And how fun. Okay, yeah, I think that is really fun. You guys, look at that. Ta-da, da-da. And there's room. Gift card? You know, you could even use dot adhesive for your gift card because there's no way it's going to hold it permanently. It's like a weak, it's too weak to hold that big plastic, but it would be perfect just to run a little dot on it and put your gift card on, because the person would be able to pull it off without any trouble. Look at that. Ta. I love it. It's so fun. Okay, so there's that one. I'll show you this one again. I need to color it and add a little pizzazz, like bling. I also have the coffee ones that this one I glued on the front, so this is the part that swings. I just think that's really cute. Okay, that is my project for today. And I'm going to be making several more of these because they go super fast. It's like if you cut all your bases, like assembly style, all your backgrounds assembly style, I can make 6 or 7 cards in just an hour. I can make tons of cards out of just the card stock that I have sitting in front of me. So the hard part, of course, is coloring. Time-consuming part, not hard, just time-consuming part. So the sticker sheet might be very helpful on that. I might make a few of these using the stickers. So, all right, enjoy your afternoon, and I will be putting all those layouts into the mail hopefully within the next couple days. And I don't know about the people who I deliver to. If you're here in town, if you could call me or something, I'll meet you somewhere. That would be great. So I don't have to travel out of town. But I know we're supposed to get some weather this weekend when I was going to deliver these. So we'll have to see the timing of the snow and stuff. Yes, you can buy the puffy hearts separately. You can buy the paper. It's one of those deals. You can buy just the parts or the bundles. And the only way to get the stamp and the dies, of course, is with a bundle. But you can buy the paper just by itself, or just the puffy hearts. So anyway, it is fun. And Margie, I have your stuff ready. So yeah, when you come by, just let me know when you're free. So thank you all. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.